A new report by the All-Party Parliamentary Group on issues affecting men and boys has been published, seeking to address the consistent underperformance of boys in education. The report calls for creating boy-positive environments in schools, as well as challenging what it calls negative narrative and indifference that surrounds boys in society. Nick Fletcher MP co-authored the report, and he joins me now from his Don Valley constituency. Nick, welcome to GB News. Tell us about this underperformance. Why do we think it occurs, and who are the boys who are being left behind?
Well, it happens to many boys across the country. It's not just particularly in areas of deprivation, but it's something that is in clear sight. Everyone knows it's happening, and yet nobody seems to be particularly wanting to do anything about it. And this report shines a light on it, and it does put some good recommendations there for what we can do to stop it happening. They are behind at every single level, all the way through the school years, and there's 35,000 boys a year, less than girls, going to university as well. So it's continuing from the very young all the way through to early adulthood.
So we have this strange paradox, because we're still worried that men are overrepresented in management, on boards and so on, and yet you're telling us that 35,000 fewer boys are going to university than girls. Tell us a little bit about how this issue might be tackled.
Well, we spoke to quite a few different heads who are leading schools where they've actually managed to reduce the gap or eliminate it completely. And they've done that without any further resources, really. They've just decided to take this issue head on. So, and then from there, they've put in a boy-positive attitude. All the teaching staff in these schools have recognised that there's an issue, and instead of expecting, well, it's a boy, they'd mess about at the back of the class, we don't expect them to do as well as girls, they've actually tackled it and said, no, we do expect you boys to do as well as the girls. We do expect good behaviour, and it's had a real impact. And when we have, there's been some young boys who have been struggling with literacy and different issues, and they've decided, well, look, there's no point in just keeping on pushing further and further on into courses. What we need to do is stay with that young person and put some catch-up interventions there to make sure that we're not moving on to the next stage of their education without getting the basics right first.
So we are here, I suppose, talking about expectations and low aspirations. Is that right?
Yes, that's definitely right. And I've seen it all too often in places like Doncaster, and I think that's happened across the north. But as I say, you do get these pockets of deprivation all across the country, and it's something that we need to stop doing. We need to expect the best of everybody. We need everybody to achieve the maximum that they're able to achieve, and we can do it. We've just got to have the right attitude.
The right attitude, yes, but of course you said that already some of the right things were being done by the right people. I'm just thinking, isn't this all a question of leadership? Do we have enough good leaders in schools?
Well, I went to one of my schools the other day, actually, just by coincidence, and I spoke to the head there about this report that was coming out, and they'd managed to do the same thing as well. So it does happen. As I say, we just need to recognise the problem, really, and then we need to, as I say, I've been campaigning for a minister for men and boys as part of the APPG as well, and we need to focus on this. As I say, you said right at the top of the programme, because we've got more male MPs, because there's more male chairs of large companies, we think that it's not an issue, and it is an issue, and if we don't address it, we're going to have some serious problems in the next 10-15 years' time.
Yeah, you faced a certain amount of ridicule for suggesting a minister for men and boys. You've made a pretty good case just now for why we might have a minister for boys. What are the issues that are carried on into manhood?
Well, I mean, we've a second report that the All-Party Parliamentary Group did was on the men's health strategy, and I'm really pleased to announce today that the government have actually read the report, which was produced in February, and they've put out some some points today that they're going to really jump on. They are going to get us a men's ambassador, which is fantastic news. We are putting screening out there. We're going to do a screening campaign for men over 50 with regards to prostate cancer. So there's lots of issues that we raised in the Men's Health Strategy report that the government have read and they've taken on board, because as we know, men don't talk as much as what women do. We've got 13 men a day taking their own life, which is tragic. We've got 88 men a day dying of heart disease. We've got 33 men a day dying of prostate cancer. So there's lots of issues. So a Minister for Men would look after boys, but would also help raise the issues that men face. And as I say, I'm really pleased with what the government have announced this weekend. It proves that lots of these reports, lots of all-party parliamentary groups put reports together and they just end up being put on the shelf. Well, we've had some real success with this today, and I'd like to thank all the people that have helped put that together.
Yeah, well done on that. Just going back to the boys, I want to raise a general point. You have said that there are examples of best practice. Why is it that best practice doesn't spread more easily around the system than it appears to?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's not even part of the Ofsted measure, you see. I think if it was part of Ofsted, when they went out and checked on scores and they literally just had a tick box, how are boys measuring up with girls, then they would get people would start actually looking at this. So maybe that's something else that we can get put forward. And once we start measuring things like that, then we'll start getting best practice shared, because obviously everybody wants a school with a good Ofsted rating.